Tonight on UMass News Now, why the Dalai Lama canceled his trip to Amherst.
And later, one Holyoke teacher is being honored for her work with struggling students.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leah Gedies.
And I'm Denzel Jones. You're watching UMass News Now.
Earlier this month, an anti-racist banner displayed outside the First Congressional Church on Main Street was taken. While some would say this is likely to be a college prank, many feel this was a planned attack against the church. Reverend Vicki Kemper says she understands college students act out, but that this banner is the first one that has ever gone missing. The banner, put up in late June, displays the initiative of Coming Together, which urges people in Amherst to get together and discuss racism. Police are still looking for the missing banner and are hoping this was just a typical college prank instead of an act of racism.
Volunteers from the WMUA radio station met with UMass officials in regards to the student-run community support station. Chancellor Subaswawi received a letter from the station's volunteers requesting a meeting about the removal of the veteran host, Max Shea, and the reassignment of Glenn Siegel, a longtime administrative advisor of WMUA. In an email sent to the member last semester, it was explained that Shea's removal was done in coordination with the Dean of Students Office, UMPD, and the Center for Student Development in an effort to further the goal of creating an accepting and safe place for all employees and members.
Over 400 people waited outside the Mullen Center last week for tickets to see the Dalai Lama. Tickets were priced at $10 for students and $32 for the public. The Dalai Lama was scheduled to have a 3-day visit to the Pioneer Valley next month, but the trip was canceled to the U.S. due to illness. The Dalai Lama came to the U.S. for a medical exam earlier this month, and however, the doctors advised him to take complete rest. He will be returning to Dharamsala and will not be able to make the trip next month. Refunds will be available at the box office to all that purchase tickets at the Mullen Center. The UMass External Relations plans to reschedule the visit in the future.
After dedicating 20 years of work to the Holyoke Public School System, Susan Leary was named the year's Rita Raves Best Teacher. Leary, a third-grade English language development teacher at the Lawrence Full-Service Community School in Holyoke, was honored for her work with struggling students. Principal Catherine Harren says it comes as no surprise that Sue was selected as the recipient of the Best Teacher Rita Raves Award. Congratulations, Susan Leary, for your hard work. To learn more about the Rita Raves, go to www.ritaraves.com.
3 UMass hockey players were arrested early Sunday morning at a party on Old Farm Road in Amherst. The players were charged with noise violations and disorderly conduct. All 3 men were arraigned in Eastern Hampshire District Court, where they were found accountable and forced to pay fines for the violations. UMass Athletics released a statement saying, "We are aware of the situation and are handling it internally." The athletic department will comment no further on the issue.
The UMass men's basketball team received 2 new players this season. Point guard Dijon Giroux and 3-star power forward Bryson Gresham have committed to UMass and will be playing for the Minutemen. The players said they chose UMass because they had a better bond with the coaches, they felt more comfortable with the other players, and the campus environment was wonderful. Gresham also mentioned he feels he will do better academically at UMass. Don't forget to come support men's basketball at their season opener against Harvard November 14th.
Coming up, we'll tell you how one Amherst pond's water is becoming more sustainable for residents and the ecosystem.
And still to come, we'll talk about Sunday's lunar eclipse. Stay tuned.
Okay, guys, ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're live.
The probe Voyager 1 crossed out of our solar system, being the first man-made product to do so.
And find out what exciting event UMass is planning for our homecoming weekend.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Liz Streppa.
That's going to be us in 20 years, Kyla. 20 years.
If students don't start returning the locks and towels that they borrow, they might soon be locked out of free rentals.
For an anchor shot?
Yeah, is that good or?
You want to zoom it out a little bit more.
For more news updates around campus, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Until next week, have a good night, UMass.
People worldwide gather outside Sunday night to watch the first supermoon solar eclipse in 33 years. This phenomenon last occurred in 1982 and won't happen again until 2033. The eclipse began around 8 p.m. Sunday night, the greatest eclipse arriving at 10:47 p.m. Sky watchers in North and South America saw the eclipse Sunday night, while the UK watched early Monday morning.
Good news for residents, a damaged piece of equipment will be removed from Markets Pond in Amherst, making the water more sustainable for occupants of Orchard Valley. David Ziomek, Assistant Town Manager, reassured residents that the removal of the broken device is underway. This will keep the water level acceptable and will maintain the ecosystem in the pond for wildlife. Benches will also be installed around the pond and trails will be improved for hikers.
After her supposed murder in 1985, 55-year-old Petra Bazooka was discovered 2 weeks ago living in Germany. After not showing up to her brother's birthday celebration 30 years ago, detectives were asked to help search for her. Her body was never found, and the case was closed in 1989. Bazooka revealed herself to the police and provided an expired ID to prove she was the missing girl. Bazooka created the plan, moved into an apartment, and she had been secretly renting and saved 20,000 euros to create a new life.
Earlier this week, daraprim, a drug used to treat rare infections, cancer, and HIV, jumped in price from $13.50 to $750. The drug price was allegedly raised as a way for companies to buy old cheap drugs and sell them at a higher price, making them seem brand new. The Infectious Disease Society of America and the HIV Medicine Association sent a letter expressing their anger toward the dramatic raise in cost. The new price could cause treatment delays for patients in need.
President Barack Obama met with world leaders in New York yesterday to discuss the campaign against ISIS. Joint Chief of Staff General Martin Dempsey made it known that there are no dramatic gains on either side. Deputy Secretary of State Tony Blinken proposed to do a train and equip program of Syrian fighters to fight ISIS. The U.S. government has estimated the flow of foreign fighters to ISIS is around 1,000 a month, which is also around the number of fighters that is estimated to be killed every month.
Pope Francis arrived in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia last week. He spoke to Congress and addressed the UN in New York City. He spoke about how the U.S. embargo in Cuba needs to leave, how the world needs to start doing more about global warming, and how we need to lend a hand to immigrants.
Chinese President Xi Jinping visited the U.S. for a state visit hosted by President Obama. Jinping spoke to the U.S. General Assembly about China's tanking economy. He reassured U.S. companies that China is still a great place to do business. He also talked about the cyber attacks on U.S. that China had been put under blame for.
And that concludes tonight's newscast. We'll see you again next week for all the latest local headlines. I'm Leah Gedies.
And I'm Denzel Jones. Thanks for watching UMass News Now. Have a great night.